Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, Chicago, what is good? You already know it's your boy Pat the designer back at it again. We got the boy P Kid over there in the bleachers, the views from the bleachers, the podcast. It's on its way back at some point. You know what I'm talking about. We're gonna get that back busted. And then of course we got my man Ringo J over in the producer booth. Ringo, let them know that you're in the building, my
What's
boy.
good?
Hey, we hear you, my boy. We hear you loud and clear. Hey, listen, we over here with the voice of God mics going on. What's going on with you, kid? How you feeling today?
I don't know, but I don't have the voice of God mics right here.
Yeah, I mean, you got more of the voice of the Israelites at the bottom.
Can I
Voice
have
of the
the angels that fought over Moses' bones? Can I have that?
we'll allow it. Nah, man. Hey, welcome into the video, man. Into today's episode. We do got phone lines open, so we want to make sure to get y'all in here as well. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me let me make sure we got phone lines open here. I got to set that up. That's on me. My bad. But yeah, no, we are gonna have phone lines. We want to hear from y'all, man, because the Bears seem like they're on the move, and this is pretty big news. I mean, when we're talking about what's going on in Chicago, when we're talking about a team that has just been a staple of the city, you don't really get a team bigger than the Chicago Bears. By the way, like the video, subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. We don't want you to miss a
Yeah.
thing. So make sure that you hit that bell. This is the only channel that's talks Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So let's get into some Chicago conversation. I'm gonna start off with you, kids, seeing as how you're the one person out of here that actually grew up inside the city limits of Chicago. I mean, listen, what does it mean to the city that they could possibly be losing their team?
Not a goddamn thing. I mean, realistically, are we losing a team? No. We're not losing the team. It's not like Chicago's losing the Bears. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bears are still going to be in the vicinity of Chicago. They're moving to a location that's better. Hey, listen, I don't want to deal with parking on Lakeshore Drive. I mean, or traffic on Lakeshore Drive. That's like literally there's nothing to do outside of Soldier Field.
Yeah.
Like you have to go into downtown, which is, I mean, it's right there. It technically
Yeah.
is downtown. It's on the lake. You know what I'm trying to say. Like if
Yeah.
you're from the town, you know what I'm saying. Like, but there's nothing to do there. Like, there's nothing special about Soldier Field. If
About
there is,
Soldier
let me
Field,
know.
absolutely. And I mean, listen, there's nothing special about the stadium either.
Yo, it's
I
not a
mean,
special.
if we're
No.
talking about the stadium as a whole, we're talking about a spaceship that got landed on top of the columns that was already there. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not. What are we talking about when we're talking? You know what I'm saying? That's all the Bears did,
It's nothing.
it's the stadium's horrible to get in and out of. The traffic's not worth going to a game itself. I mean, if you're just one of those Bears fans that likes being in the atmosphere, I guess. But to me, like when I'm really looking at it, and we want to know you guys' opinion, man, let us know. Call into the show 855-908-5668. The contender phone lines are open. Make sure to call in and let us know how you guys are feeling about the Bears. What seems to be a pretty done deal about them moving outside of the city of Chicago. I mean,
I like this
here's my
comment
thing,
with you
right?
too.
Here's my thing with it.
I like this
This
comment.
is a move that's for the fans. This is a move that is for because let's be real, the Bears can play football anywhere. The Bears can play football in a ditch in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Kice in the building. What's good, my boy? John in the building. What's good? I see y'all. I see the
And,
P1.
and, and the reality of it is, if you haven't ventured, like let's say, we have some people. I've met some people, which is wild and sad at
Yeah,
the same time, who've never been to another stadium.
that's me.
They've never been to another
That's
stadium.
me.
They've never been to.
I've never been inside of another football stadium besides Soldier Field.
I've been inside another football stadium, but it wasn't for football, unfortunately. But I mean, I could tell you it was a convention. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
Well, I'm trying to think if I had been, but no, all of ours was always baseball stadium. So I've
baseball
never been
stadium,
inside of a different football stadium.
work event for me, but still, I could look at it like, man, to be in a football game here would rock. Like
Yeah,
I could experience that.
you
So
can
if
feel
you've never been into another stadium, you really don't know how poor
how
our
bad our
stadium
stadium
is.
is.
Like the stadium is bad.
Yeah,
Like, and so, now I would love to be able to say, yeah, we could potentially host the Super Bowl I mean, okay, not Chicago, but in Chicago. I mean, it's
yeah,
whatever. It's Arlington. It's there. Like, come
yeah,
on
yeah.
now. It's there. So
I think the interesting thing, like I want to know honestly from a lot of the people that don't think that we should be in that stadium. Because I want to know the reasons why I don't think that we should move outside. Because outside of just I want my team in Chicago, because to me, what does that matter? Like having the teams in Chicago is nice if I live near it, but I live just as close to Arlington Heights. You know, I guess if I'm coming from Indiana for a game, it might suck a little bit. But but
no
but honestly, like
parking,
that, you said what?
parking, travel. Look, dude, listen. Even
Yeah,
when I lived 10 minutes from Soldier Field, it
yeah,
still took me an hour almost to get to your house. Why?
exactly.
Traffic. All of that traffic. I don't want to deal with it. I don't. Now I know that there's going to be traffic on game days and stuff like that, but guess what?
Just coming up. Hey, listen, there's gonna be traffic just while they're building it. It's about to
No,
be a nightmare trying to get around
absolutely.
Chicago land. Yeah,
Absolutely. But like on game days, like when we would like do the live
yeah,
and there would be a game downtown, it would take me an hour plus just to get home. And that was you're within 20 miles of where I
oh yeah,
was, right?
oh yeah.
So it's like, I'd be stuck 5 miles away from your crib. Like, yeah, man, I'm going to be late for this live. Why? What is traffic? Like, nah, dog, I don't, like, it's a whole bunch of negatives that go with that. And I just don't want to deal with it. And again, I hope they build a dome because guess what?
That's what
Nobody
I was gonna
wants.
say. What kind of stadium does everybody want? What kind of state? Because listen, I think this is at a certain point. We're past bargaining chip. Lori was talking today, talking about kind of they're still trying to work this out. I'm gonna tell you right now, $170 million. What was it? 197 million.
$197 million. It's done.
$197 million is not a bargaining chip. That's not a.
I dropped 200 M's.
Listen,
It's a wrap.
that's a down payment. That's a down payment, my boy. You know what I'm saying? That's not a bargaining chip. You know what I'm saying?
Think about what it does for the team.
This is a done deal. I mean, listen, it does so much for the team. From and I've said this on the show before. I think I've told the same story. I can't remember the band. Ringo, you would probably know. Actually, what's the band that this is about to be? This is about to sound real weird. This is definitely going to be a clip for the show. What is the band that's got the music video with the chimpanzees dancing in it?
What are we doing here, Pat?
Oh, I know.
He knows what I'm talking about, bro.
What are we doing here? Gorillas?
You said what?
The gorillas?
It's like gorillas dancing or chimpanzees dancing or something.
No, the gorillas, the group.
No. It's like I don't know. Look it up. You the producer side. Look it up. Hey, we're gonna get that for you real quick. I'm telling you, there's actually a video. What, Maroon 5, right?
Oh yeah.
Is it Maroon 5?
Yeah, I don't know the name.
So
of it,
anyway, I don't know the song. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
The thing is, we went to see a concert on a Saturday night in, I want to say, September or October, and the Bears were having a home game the next day. The stage was on the field. This is like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. The stage was on the field. The thing that it does for your players is nothing else is getting in the way of football at this place. Like at a certain point, like right now, the Park District has final say. They'd be like, hey, look, we understand you got a football game going on, but they're going to pay us more for this. So that's going to happen, and then you can play your little football game. That's not going to come into play anymore.
The one thing I look at is just how much it does for people who actually buy. Now, don't get me wrong. Chicago Bears sell out. They're our only football team. They're going to sell out regardless, but nobody wants to go to those cold games. Like as someone who's not a season ticket holder, I am not trying to buy a game in January. Why? Yeah. I don't care how good the team is. I'm not trying to be cold. I could sit there on my couch, watch it from my TV in the warmth of my home, and have just as much fun as I would if I'm at the game. But if you put it in a dome, now that's a whole different experience right there. Now I can take my coat off. I'm actually
Coldplay. Right here. Shout out Isaiah. Okay. Coldplay. My bad.
Okay. Nah,
I threw Kid all the way off with that. My bad, dog.
On top of that, dog, how did you not know Coldplay? It's like one of the best.
I couldn't remember who had the monkey music video, but I know it because that was the theme of the concert or whatever.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It was, don't worry about it. What you saying, Ringo?
Yeah.
We're gonna move past it.
Realistically, for me, I think that They should get one of them stadiums where it's like you got it where like you can open the roof and then you can close it if you want to.
Retractable roof.
Yeah,
I don't
retractable
like
roof.
how Minnesota did
But
theirs. I don't like how
but
Minnesota did theirs.
What do you mean?
I
What's
also
wrong
like
with it?
crystal turf though. You gotta get turf.
Do you go turf or do you go grass out there? That's a good question.
Nah, it's turf because it is so many times where it's like we've heard them comment on the games where it's like the players had to change their cleats mid game.
Well, that's because of the Coldplay having concerts.
But I mean, if you turn that around and get turf though, if
you get full on turf, it's not a problem. I would like to see something like what the Packers have. I think the Packers have a combination. It's like half and half of both. Where it's turf and it's grass. Okay, I would like to see. I still like the grass look. Turf look like it looked like when you call Simply Green out to do your crib and they just spray paint your grass green. You know what I'm saying? Fresh green lawns, muds out here getting steroids on the grass. No, I think.
How do you feel about this comment right here?
What we got? Getting to and from the new area is so simple. We need a new NFL team to fill Soldier Field. When we relocate, why should we change? When we relocate, we should change the name. Bears only play downtown. That's stupid.
Hey, look.
That's stupid.
Arlington Tigers.
The Arlington Tigers, get out of here. So this mug in Madden ended up actually making a team, bringing them. He moved the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to Chicago and made them the Chicago Tigers. This mother talking about the Arlington Tigers. Get out of here. No, he's talking about Bears only play downtown. That's dumb. No, that they're going to be the Chicago Bears. Listen, the New York Giants and the New York Jets do not play.
They do not play.
The Golden State Warriors are not in Golden State. I don't know how to tell y'all this. The team, there's so many teams that don't play inside of
you do know Golden State is not a.
Well, you know what I mean. They
okay. I just want you to know, like Golden State.
You know what I mean. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That would be dope though. Where you from? Golden State. The Arlington Collaborators. Hey, that's a comment of the year. The Arlington Collaborators. I'm with that. No, but you know, there's a ton of teams that don't play inside of their city limits. Like, I don't have a problem with it. It's fine. The biggest thing to me is that there's still football. There's still football. Now, I will say this. How do we feel? And I feel like I've heard this my entire life. I've never fact-checked it. I don't know if it's actually true. But I don't know if I believe there's an agreement that the Chicago Bears had with the city of Chicago. I don't know if it's still in place as they leave the city of Chicago.
The 5 years?
No. That there cannot be another team within 50 miles of the Bears. Or with either the city of Chicago or the state. Somehow they have an agreement. I've never fact checked it, but I've always heard this my whole life. Because I was like, well, why don't we get, like, we had the Chicago Cardinals. Why don't we get another team in that sense of it? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what this thing here's for. Let's find out.
Well, don't put it in front of the camera. No, I think that's the interesting thing. Like, if they had another, I think that the Bears are the reason there isn't another football team in Chicago.
But where would you put it?
I would say you let them play at Soldier Field. If the Bears move out, or do you get? Here's the thing: do you give them? I think Soldier's a good starter. Do you give them an entirely new stadium?
I feel like it would have to be new because you can't move the Bears. You can't move the Bears out of Soldier Field, put them in Arlington, and then be like, yeah, so we knew Soldier Field was trash, so we're gonna give this to somebody else.
Well, I mean, if it's a smaller team, though, you're thinking a smaller following. You're thinking of, I mean, let's be real. If another team moves into Chicago, it's just gonna be a bunch of fed up Bears fans that say,
you know what I just learned? We actually did have two football teams at one point.
Yeah, the Chicago Cardinals. You didn't know that?
Did not know that.
I mentioned that.
Yeah, nah.
When did you mention it?
I mentioned it like 10 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. I was thrown off by the monkeys on the stage.
No, it's still messing with you. Don't worry about it. Let that go, man. Just let that go. No, I think, like, honestly, if there isn't hey, listen, shout out to you, T Lie. You know what, T? Just because of that comment, we will next week we will absolutely have a new
Have a what?
T said, I need y'all to get, you ain't got another background picture? I'm tired of seeing Nagy face. Hey, kids, swap out the background picture, bro. Throw something
I
else
got you,
up
bro.
there for him. Hey, that's so funny, dog. Nah, but you know what?
Get a garbage can.
I don't know. A garbage can, Jesus. First off, you are a New York Jets fan or a New York Giants fan. Same thing. Let's not act like it's different.
Hey, I mean, at least we've been in games, and the game plan is not to get demolished a sack 9 times.
Okay, all right, I give you that. That was a good bar. I got nothing for that. No, I think that's like, would y'all? Here's the thing. If there was another, I feel like Kid already got the answer. But if there was another Chicago team in town, would you choose that team over the Bears, or would you stay diehard to the hometown team?
Oh no, I'm diehard to the Bears.
Really? I thought you would have been the one to switch over. Now I feel like, see, here's the thing, right?
No, because it would be an expansion team.
Me and Ringo had this conversation off mic. He said he wishes he could root for another team,
dog,
but it can't be the Bears just because of how bad they are. So if a new team moved into Chicago, Ringo, would you root for the new team?
Yeah, bro. It would have to be like, because I don't, to be honest, I really don't know where the organization is going as a Giants fan. Like, I love my Giants, but it's just like, dog, it's gonna get worse before it get better. Like, and
hey,
I'm
listen,
talking
you've
way
got
worse.
2 Super Bowls. You have no room to complain about anything. You know when the last time we saw a Super Bowl was? We saw it in 2005. You've won 2 Super Bowls since then. I don't want to hear about.
You want to know why I don't understand Ringo?
My team.
Ringo is such a diehard for the Giants, but he doesn't even appreciate the Giants QB that won him those 2 rings.
What?
No, Ringo love Eli.
No.
Ringo love Eli. Ringo says Eli is unquestionably a Hall of Famer, and there's a lot of questions.
Yes.
He's unquestionably a Hall of Famer, though.
He's unquestionably a Hall of Famer because he beat Brady twice and because he is from New York.
No, he's top 10 in several statistical categories, and no one gives him credit.
I mean, listen.
I wasn't even going for that. I just told him off because
he's about to be out of there real quick.
He might be.
With the new quarterbacks that are coming in, he's about to be out of there.
He has longevity on his side, though. So some of those things he actually might still keep just because. Yeah. I mean, his win-loss record is dead even, by the way. So it's not like he has a losing record.
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, crazy. Come on, dog. Like, but here's the thing. Like I've said many times, we got to up the standards for Hall of Fames. The players today are just way better. Like the players back in the day that they got into the Hall of Fame, if we still hold it by them standards, like, dog, they were smoking a pack of Marlboros before the game.
But who can actually say they did?
But you gotta look at who he beat though. I'm just talking about the 2-1. Like he beat Favre. He beat Favre in Green Bay. Beat Aaron Rodgers. Like both times we had to go on the road.
Yeah.
And he beat like.
Both times were historic runs if you want to put it in real context.
Well, the one you were what 10-6, and the other one you were 7-9.
Yeah, 10-6, 7-9.
The 7-9 season was crazy.
7-9 season crazy.
7-9 season was crazy.
But here's the one thing that you don't realize.
So you would root for the new Chicago team if it moved into Chicago.
I would at least root for the new Chicago team.
Wow, that's interesting. I really want to know people's feeling on that.
The thing is, I really can't have the Bears let me down
because you already got that.
Yeah, like
I feel that.
I mean that's basically just what it is. Like the one.
That's how
time,
I am with college football right now. Like I still haven't picked a college football team because LSU is capped. Like I love Coach O, but LSU is capped, and I still haven't picked a college football team because I'm like I don't want to pick a team that's going to let me down.
I don't really.
But I also don't want to pick Alabama, even though my dad went there and like a ton of my family is Alabama fans, because I feel like, well, I didn't root for anybody, and if the first team I root for is the best team in football history, like.
I mean, why don't you go with Michigan? I feel like Michigan would be the obvious choice
because I'm from Illinois.
But
no,
at the same time,
anything. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Because the rival is Ohio. Like at the end of the day, the only end goal is to beat Ohio State.
No.
They have a great defense.
What's he talking about?
What are we talking about? Hey, listen, let's pivot back to the.
Yeah, let's get back on topic.
Okay, listen.
Is how you pivot.
Easy. Hey, listen, Justin Field actually got some reps in today. He's not questionable. He's geared to go. He's considered healthy. How do you feel about him playing? How do you feel about him playing this weekend?
I mean, when we're getting into that, we're talking about, is he going to be able to get game planned for? Like, that's really what it comes down to. And listen, me and you were talking about it earlier. We were watching a lot of the tape. I don't care what scheme they rolled out there with those 5 offensive linemen, it wasn't going to help. With how that offensive line played, it wasn't going to help. Now, that doesn't change the fact that Matt Nagy called a horrible game plan. It doesn't change the fact that Matt Nagy did nothing to help those offensive linemen. I think you said, 2 times you saw 6-man protection out there. That's just not enough. The biggest problem that I see with Fields is going to be, and I got my 3 keys coming out Friday, but the thing that I said in there was, listen, Fields has to be himself. It's one of those kind of, like we used to say with Mitch all the time, just let the kid play. Simplify it as much as you can, though. Like with Mitch, it was like, just let him go out there and run around and see what he does. I don't agree with that either. But I think if you simplify it, that you allow the kid's instincts to take over.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow Justin Fields' instincts to take over, you see the plays like we saw with Allen Robinson. That, of course, it's a PI, doesn't come down with it. He does miss a play there, but you see him get out of the pocket and be able to extend a play, because guess what? Yeah, it's simple. It's easy to understand. We have these high expectations for Justin, and I think we all do, but he's still a rookie. Like, I think we all thought, listen, when Pat Mahomes got in the game, he wasn't a rookie. He's still a rookie.
That's true.
I think the reason why we did that is because of one, what we saw in college. What we saw in college, like Mud's got to remember, this mug was on ESPN for like a good 5-6 weeks. With
when you winning, that's what you do.
No, this was before, when this mug was even in high school.
Yeah.
At these camps,
Yeah.
throwing around with Justin, with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So it's not like this man we ain't seen him. I feel like this only came about because of what they said about him coming out about having to pick up the game plan.
Yeah.
And Nagy was like, I mean, well, he's done everything right. He's got everything down. So I feel like Nagy just has to put a game plan in for
Justin.
Specifically
I don't
him.
I don't think
him go out and do what he did.
I don't think they were calling the game well for Justin. I don't think the personnel out there helps him at all. I don't think that the offensive line helps him. We really got to look at that offensive line and put a lot of blame on what they weren't able to do at all. But I mean, listen, that continues to go back to the conversation that we've been having for 2-3 weeks now, bro. Like, it falls on the offensive line, which in turn falls on Matt Nagy, which in turn falls on Ryan Pace, which in turn gets us back to square one. If the line comes out here and it does the same thing versus the way they blocked, if they do that versus the Detroit Lions, we will lose.
And the thing,
110%, we will lose.
I'm gonna let y'all know too. Like, the Lions are 0-3, but I don't know if y'all been watching.
Hey,
outside of the Packers game.
Yeah.
Those been real close games. Like Dan Campbell said, what he said in his presser when he got introduced. He said, we gonna bite them knees off.
We gonna bite a knee and we gonna bite an ankle.
That's a good point, because right now, if you look at KC has been having a tough time.
Yeah.
They are the favorites to win the chip this year, but they've had a rough start. But there's been really close games.
Tackles, man.
Hey, Detroit.
Look at Pat Mahomes with no offensive line. He's still a wizard, but
Detroit is in the same boat. Now, we don't expect them to be great, but let's be real. They got a king's ransom for Stafford to really build around Goff. Yeah. And it's not a bad team on paper. In fact, on paper, on several positions, they actually outperform us. But for some odd reasons, it's just the Lions. All right. And that's a whole different thing. But I can absolutely see them looking at us as a come up, just like we are expecting to look at them as a come up. I absolutely see that.
I think if we're being honest with ourselves, if we're being honest with what the Bears are doing, the Bears, this is not a trap game. This is a game versus a team that I would say right now, based on the way they've played, is even with us.
Yeah.
If not moving in a better direction, because 575 all-purpose yards on the season, y'all. Derek Carr has 1,100 passing yards. We have 575 all-purpose yards in an NFL season in 12 quarters of football. I've seen Aaron Rodgers and the Packers get 575 yards in a game.
Jared Goff has 801 passing yards.
Hey, can I just say this?
801 passing yards. He has more yards than our entire offense.
Yeah.
And they're a team that we're just supposed to kill.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Now,
Gotcha.
I will say this. I do think the Bears will win because I think that where Jared Goff gets in trouble is when pressure is in his face. Sean Desai's proven to me in 2 games, one versus a very good team, one versus a very bad team, that he learned from that first game. He realized where Robert Quinn kind of fits into this defense, and he says, "Hey, look, we're going to put you and Mac on the same side. We're going to make something happen, and we're going to get pressure on the quarterback up front." That's where Jared Goff struggles most.
Dog, I'm going to be honest with you.
Listen, what was it? Last week versus the Packers when he took off and ran, everybody was like, Jesus, what was that?
Hey, listen, people give Jared Goff a hard time, but he's averaging 4,000 yards in the last 5 seasons.
Hey, a lot of quarterbacks are.
A lot of quarterbacks are not.
No. 4,000 yards, that's just not here.
Yeah,
We're the only team that can't do that.
4,000 yards? No, let's clarify this. He's 4,600 yards back to back.
I get you.
Hey, listen, that's elite company.
Hey, look.
It's elite company.
I've seen Fitzy do it.
But
I've seen Jameis Winston do it.
Somehow he got.
Yeah, you saw Jameis Winston do it. That's about it. Fitzy ain't got close to that.
Fitzy's had a 4,000-yard season. Has Fitzy not had a 4,000-yard season? I think Fitzy's had a 4,000-yard season.
Fitzgerald has never.
Fitzgerald, first off, I don't know who that is. Who's
this Fitzgerald? Ryan Fitzpatrick has never thrown. Hey, let's clarify this. Not only has he not done it, he's never done it.
No, okay.
He's never done he's never thrown. He's gotten close, like 95 yards short, but he ain't never thrown.
Listen, 95 yards. How many games he played that season? I'm giving it to him. I'll bet you that's a 12-game season. Is that a 12-game?
He played the entire season. Give it to him. 16 games.
I give it to him. 95 yards. I give him one more game. If he had week 17, he's got that.
Yeah, if Jared Goff had week 17 in the earlier seasons, he'd have like 5,000 yards. What are we talking about?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. You know that's what we're talking about. Nah, I think the thing is like where we can't sleep on Detroit is they've got a coach. They just don't have the talent. They honestly have a coach who has them playing strong defensively, has them playing with heart, has them believing that they can go out and continue to be in these games. And listen, how many games are we think? I mean, honestly, with an extra playoff team, it's another extra one this year. I believe it's pretty much half the league is in there. What do we got to win? 7 or 8 games? 7 or 8 games might really be the last playoff team in the playoffs this season.
Nah.
I don't know, dog. I don't know.
Not in our division.
I mean, maybe. Well, here's the thing.
Hey, we might be last in ours.
And that's what I'm saying. The Vikings don't look crazy good. Detroit doesn't look crazy good. The Vikings look meh. The Vikings that much above the Bears right now.
But they've been in their 2 games though. They've been at Kirk is balled. Kirk is balled. I would say
still Kirk Cousins.
I would say the one team that you're missing, which I didn't really think of, is Carolina. For
Carolina,
what it's worth,
is Carolina a real 3-0 team? That's a good question.
Sam Darnold.
The Vikings have lost by 1 point. No, dog. If we're giving people stuff, I'm giving them that game, okay?
Man, hey, look. You can give it to them all you want. They didn't win it. You can give it to them all you want. They didn't win it. Nah, I think the interesting thing with and listen, we want to hear from you guys, man. The Contenders phone lines are open, 855-908-5668. Call into the show, man. Talk about the Bears move, and we can talk about what's going on this upcoming week versus Detroit. We can talk about what's going on just with the Bears in general. The fact that Matt Nagy's continued to have a job is still mind-boggling to me. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man, for sure.
All right, real question.
Let's go with it. Let's do it.
Hey, real question though.
Should they throw in the towel for so he can get fired? Like, should they be like, you know what, we're gonna mail this one in?
No, you know why? Because the NFL is a weird league. Ringo, what did the Giants start off that year?
What?
The Super Bowl year.
Why are we comparing us to the Super Bowl Giants?
No. I'm saying the year that the 7-9 year. There's a reason I'm comparing. Didn't y'all start off like 0-3 or something like that?
Yeah, like we started off 0-3, and then after that we had went on a run. I forget which game it is, but
well, we can look it up. But you know what I'm saying? Like the NFL is such a weird league. That's a good point. Giants did have a good offensive line. You're right. But it's such a weird league that like I've seen teams be terrible. And then by the end of the season, they're one game away from the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what we have here, but what I'm saying is can we just get
let's get a game to watch.
I agree with that.
Make it competitive.
Great comment. That's a great comment. But I think the thing is like you never want to give up on an NFL season until like well, first off, for the players, you never want to give up. But for the organization, you never want to give up on a season when you're watching it and it's just like, all right, they might be out of this. All right, when everybody's counting them out, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, they've won like 5 games in a row. Like, is that for real? Or are they just playing some bad teams? Oh, man, they've won like 8 games in a You know what I'm saying? Like, that happens in the league so often that I don't think you can ever say just throw in the towel. And plus, as much as we may be sick of Nagy, as much as we may be sick of Pace, as much as we may be sick of this offensive line, we want the kid to learn. You don't want Justin Fields to learn by getting bust upside the head 9 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want him to learn in winning situations.
I don't agree with you, dog.
You're big on just giving up just to get Nagy fired.
You know what? I'm big on getting someone the hell up out of there. Yeah, you're right. I'm big on that. Get him the heck up out of there, dog. But I'm gonna say this.
But players aren't.
I'm gonna say this. Oh no, I think some of them are. I'm gonna give you an interesting stat. How many total first downs do you think the Minnesota Vikings have had up until this point?
Total first downs.
Total first downs. Let's do some breakdowns in comparison. I know that
what are we comparing to a team that got 2 first downs last week? You know what I'm saying? Or 6. I'm sorry.
Hey, listen,
Vikings have probably had 85 first downs already.
74.
Okay, I was a little high.
Guess how many we've had?
I would say 30.
46. Hey, listen, you gave him less credit. I'll give him a little more. Okay. How many total passing yards?
We started off the season 3-2.
3-2?
Yeah.
That's better than I thought.
Well, we lost the first 2 games though.
Yeah. Most teams that start 0-2 don't make the playoffs. So, how many total passing yards is actually more impressive? I didn't know that. I thought they started off 0-3, but 0-2. That's actually still impressive. But no, how many total passing yards do the Bears have? Let's go with 212.
Not far off. 272.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings nearly have 4 times the amount of passing yards we do.
For sure.
Okay. Hey, listen. In fact, not only do they have more passing yards, they definitely have more rushing yards.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You could literally take their rushing yards
negative 212
and subtract, and they could still be in a conversation of being competitive with us.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the Bears are in an ugly position, man. We got the phone lines open. Like I said, we got Greg on the phone right now out in the 540. Greg, what's going on, my boy? What are your thoughts on this, on what's going on with the Bears? Hold on. Greg, you there? All right. No Greg right now. No Greg.
I was all right, Greg. I had high hopes for you.
I had high hopes for Greg. I didn't hear.
Real quick, so I do got a trivia question for both of y'all.
Oh, it's a trivia question. Okay.
RG3. I want y'all to guess. So RG3's rookie year.
Yeah.
For Washington.
Mm-hmm.
When they made the playoffs,
Yeah.
what was their record to start the season off?
To start the season, I would say they were probably, let's go,
0-4.
3-5. He said 0-4. I'm saying 3-5. What we got?
Kid is close. They started 0-6.
0-6. Okay, I remember that.
0-6 and won 10 straight games.
And that's honestly the reason that I say, you never know in the NFL. Like there's a team like that almost all the time. You know what I'm saying? Where there's you look at them and you're like, they're out of there. Now I wouldn't say it's every single season, but every other year maybe. You know what I'm saying? Every other year.
The interesting thing is the proof is in the pudding. We've gone on a nice win streak before.
Yeah.
We just did it very recently. You know what changed for us to do it? The obvious change. Someone gave up the Denny's menu. They was like, hey, be you. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bill. Be you.
Well, if we're being honest, when we went on the 6-game win streak, because the Bears started off last season 6-0, right?
I thought it was 5-1.
Was it 5-1? Even so, he still had the Denny's menu in his hand. Then he lost 6 games in a row. And then he gave up the Denny's menu.
And then we went then we went 4-2.
4-2, something like that.
4-2, something like that.
So we was winning with the Denny's menu. The offense just looked like
our defense was winning.
We finna take this Denny's menu, he turned it into an IHOP menu. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
They went with what they went, and then Bill Lazor was like, man, forget this IHOP menu, forget this Denny's menu. We're going to the Waffle House. And then that's when they got the 4-2.
The Waffle House is when it gets nice. Let's try the phone lines one more time, man. Let me make sure. Who we got? We got it says Darnell now. Okay, whole different name. I'm assuming this is still Greg. Let's see. Let's go to the phones here, see what we got. Yo, you there?
Yeah, man.
Oh, now I'm hearing you loud and clear. What's going on, my boy?
Hey, what's going on?
What you call to talk about, my guy?
Hey, man. So, I'm from Chicago.
Right.
I stay in VA.
Right.
So I know all about the Bears' trials and tribulation at quarterback. But here's what I think. Matt Nagy has not shown as a coach that he can be consistent no matter where he's been.
I don't know much about his coaching career outside of actually working with Andy Reid. I know that he was a quarterbacks coach out in Philly, and I guess the quarterbacks in Philly did well. But I know with Andy Reid, I would agree with you that, listen, Andy Reid took that play calling back in that playoff game. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what it comes down to. Like, you're right, he was inconsistent in Kansas City as well.
And also in Chicago with the Mr. Trubisky situation, because when Mr. Trubisky showed some success with, the little read options and schemes where they had all these different guys doing like little gadget things.
Yeah.
There was success from that, and then he went away from that and started dropping him back again. Why would you do that? So he's shown throughout his career that he's not a consistent person. Like, have you noticed that even in his interviews, he don't seem sure of himself even when he's talking? Like, he doesn't seem like he really knows what he's doing as a head coach.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Listen, I've said, and we really appreciate you for calling in, my boy. Appreciate you. What was your name? It came up as Greg the first time and Darnell the second time. What's your name, my boy?
My name's Darrell Garrett.
Darrell, there we go. Darrell. It didn't get it right, but I got you, Darrell. Hey, we appreciate you for calling in, my boy.
No problem.
All right, man. Stay safe out there. Listen, he's not wrong. I can't take that away from him. I mean, listen, I've been the first one to say Matt Nagy is absolutely going to give you a word salad. He's going to come out there and go ahead, kid. Ask me a question on a Matt Nagy topic. Give me a question from the stands there.
Hey, Matt Nagy, you think you're going to give up? Are you or someone else going to be doing the play calling on Sunday?
You know what? That's a great question there. Kid, is it? Yeah, that's a great question there, kid. And I appreciate that you were able to ask that question, because what it shows is that we're in a place of good collaboration together. And sometimes when you want to collaborate, you look to the sky and you're trying to figure out where to go with it. So that's kind of what we're doing in here this week. And, Bill and I and a lot of the coaches in the building have talked, and we've decided that, the best thing to do is just to look around at each other and make sure we trust each other. And we're going to keep it internal.
You know what, Nagy? That's interesting because in the real press conference, you know what you said?
Yeah.
I give it to you right here. You said that the criticism was fair, which
Uh-huh.
I'm glad that you agree.
Hey, listen.
And
Matt Nagy's real good at saying, "Hey guys, I sucked." I
yeah,
don't
oh
give you
yeah,
credit for that. I give
you're
you
really
credit for
good at
that.
that.
You
You're
know what?
still in character, by the way. You're still in character, by the way.
Oh, my
So
bad.
you
My bad.
said the criticism was fair, but you
Yes.
also said that you were going to keep it internal when it comes to that the very specific thing. So
Yeah.
I ask you again,
Yeah.
who's going to be doing the play calling on Sunday? And do
Well,
you see the direct correlation between when it's clear that you're play calling, the
yep.
team doesn't do well, but when you give it up, all of a sudden they magically look like a great team? Do you see the direct correlation there?
Well, and that's something that I had to call Andy Reid. I know he's in the hospital and possibly on his deathbed, but we had to call him and check him out and see what was going on there, just to see what kind of what he's seeing, and just to get back to your roots. And when you get back to your roots, Roots is one of my favorite movies, and I do support the Black Lives Matter movement. And so what I do with that is I really look into it and I say, hey, hey, stay safe, brother. Go out there and do what you got to do, and I keep it internal inside of my head. And then when it comes out here, it really works out like this, and we're going to keep it internal.
Hey, listen, thank you, and thanks so much to Chief C for the super chat. More power to you. Speaking on the question that even Chief had
I'm
to ask,
still in character here.
still in character. Would it be fair, since it was being fair, would it be fair to say that you and Ryan Pace are definitely on the hot seat?
When you think about a hot seat, I think more of a hot plate, some of that good Southern cooking. And so, I really, I really look internally at it, and I say, sometimes you got to go Denny's, sometimes you go IHOP. I'm more of a Waffle House guy myself. That's kind of got us what got us out of that rut last season. And so when I look at it, and I really think about it, when I think about the hot seat, you got to ask George about that. I'm more worried about what's going on here, and internally, we're going to keep it internal because our internal organs is our heart, and what our heart's going to tell us to do is keep it internal.
Now, keeping it internal. This is what you said publicly. You said you think both Andy and Justin are in a good place, and they've done a great job figuring out the why. So we've done a great job figuring out the whys, which is something you didn't say here, which I'm kind of disappointed because that's your go-to. But anyway,
Yeah.
but you can't answer a lot of things that because it relates to scheme. Tell me this: what the hell is a scheme?
Well,
Well, when you're thinking about scheme, first things first, we want to keep all of our scheme internal. And I'm glad you brought up the why. We really want to look at the why. And when I was growing up, the why was a big part of my life. The old YMCA. You go down there, you play a little hoops, and sometimes when you're at the why, you're inside the why, and that is internal. And when you're internal in there, you have good collaboration with Ryan Pace. And what we do, we go inside of there, and sometimes we sit down at the why and we understand the why. And once we understand the why, we understand the you, and you are why we're here today. And so we just appreciate you for being here, and we're going to keep it internal.
Thank you for not answering the question. Oh God! You kept a straight face that whole time too.
Yo, you know why? Why now? You know why? Because I've had to listen to 4 years of this.
Oh
4
man!
years of the why. Take it down to the Y, to the old man's club, get a game of 5-on-5 on it, figure out what the heck is going on, dog. We talking about the why, dog.
Hey, you know what? He has to be. Like, if I'm ever in trouble legally, he's the best person to have because he's definitely like. I don't have to worry about the meal in front of Maggie. I call him Maggie. I don't have to worry about the meal in front of him because he's never going to give a straight answer. He's
Yeah.
not going to incriminate himself at all.
Yeah.
He's not going to throw me up. Well, no, he might throw me under the
He
bus.
might throw you under the bus.
I keep seeing this right here. I saw this twice. Kellen Moore for head coach. Kellen Moore, excuse me. I don't know much about that particular guy, so
so Kellen Moore, is an offensive coordinator. Is the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
He actually quarterbacked at Boise State when they had the blue field
Yeah.
a while back. Was killing. But yeah, he's an offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and they're putting up like I want to say 30 a game. I mean, it would be a good hire, but I'm pretty sure if this doesn't work,
you know the difference there though. It's a guy by the name of Dak Prescott, Probably.
They got weapons.
They got weapons.
Hey, no. Hey, you gotta let me finish this. It's emphatic. Ezekiel Elliott, just one of the best running backs in the league, right there. Coop is probably better than A-Rod.
Coop is probably.
Coop better than A-Rod.
Oh, so he's definitely better. Hey, listen, I have to go pull back on my A-Rod slander. So I mean,
well, I'll say this. This is the thing that I'll say about what we're looking for in our next head coach if we're gonna have that conversation. I don't care.
Competency.
I pick this shoulder up and I pick this shoulder up and I drop him because I don't care. I don't care if it's an offensive coordinator. You know why? What was John Harbaugh? Special teams. What was Mike Tomlin? Special teams. Hey, they're both Super Bowl champion coaches. They seem to have it figured out. What was Jim Harbaugh?
You want to know why they have it figured out, though? Because they know that they don't have it all figured out, and they just hire the right people.
Well, here's the thing. No. They. Well, yes, that too, absolutely. They're better leaders of men. But I'd say this. I like that Joe Judge has y'all playing as tough as y'all are. Now, I think y'all don't have the talent.
No, we don't.
But I think that
we don't got the
quarterback. I don't think that Joe Judge is a bad head coach. He was a wide receivers coach. I was laughing about Joe Judge. And for Joe Judge to stand out there, and now I will say this, his clock management is terrible, but that's also a first-time head coach. Andy Reid's clock management was terrible for a while. That Matt Nagy's is awful. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that at least he has the team playing competent.
Hey, how do we know that Matt Nagy's clock management is awful when we're never even really in a position for us to actually have to manage the clock? We've been getting killed most seasons.
We've been in it enough.
Okay.
We've been in it enough to know he's not good at it. No, and that's the thing to me. Like there are many a head coach around the NFL or coaches coming up that were never coordinators. You don't need a coordinator. You need the best leader of men. You know what happens when you find the best leader of men? All of a sudden, you can find a good offensive coordinator. All of a sudden, you can find a good defensive coordinator. All of a sudden, you can find all of these coaches to help develop a quarterback, a great quarterbacks coach. You know why? Because, hey, I want to come work for that guy because I like the way he leads a team.
Man, how do we have 80 people in here watching, but the 28 likes?
I ain't worried about the likes. You know
what I'm saying? Wow. Y'all just wild and disrespectful.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't worried about the likes. You know what? We putting out a good product. We putting out a good show. That's all I'm worried about. By the way, I'm watching your camera on TV over here. You look phenomenal, my guy. You are killing it right now with the camera game. Shout out to you.
Appreciate
doing a great job. No, I really
all
think
this money I spent, they better look good.
I really think that when we're talking about a head coach, you know, we get caught up and we need the new offensive scheme. We need the new listen. Why is Lamar Jackson so good? It don't have nothing to do with John Harbaugh.
His coach just let him play free.
Well, he's gonna learn how to throw the ball as well.
It do have something to do with his coach, though.
It's got something to do with the people that his head coach hired. I'm not giving John Harbaugh credit for having the cojones to say, "Hey, let's go for it on 1 yard with Pat Mahomes on the other side." Like, I'm not gonna be that guy.
No, you know what I'm giving him? I'm giving him the ability to switch from Flacco to who was a much better and much more accurate.
That's
QB
not John. That's not John. That's what I'm saying. John's a great leader, but that's the OC. That's the OC saying, hey, look, I have to switch everything we're doing right now. Our offensive game plan going into this has to be completely different. You don't have to have a great play caller be your head coach. You don't have to have an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, a former head coach. You just have to have the best leader of men. The Chicago Bears need to go into this offseason, if they do fire Matt Nagy, which I don't expect to happen, but if they do fire Matt Nagy, and find the best leader of men moving forward. If they can do that, then I think that this team will be moving in the right direction. Because I'll tell you what, there's a piece here that already is in place to be pretty good. And if you develop that piece, starting with the quarterback, then you can figure everything else out. Guess what? Now not anymore, but whatever coach was going to go into Houston with a quarterback ready to go was going to be in a better situation because, hey, yeah, we got to build an offensive line around this guy, but he's pretty freaking good already.
Hey, I'm going to say this, though. Because everything you said is spot on, but I really don't believe we have to lose for Matt Nagy to be fired. I'm going to be honest with you. We could still win and it'd be totally a defensive effort.
Yeah.
And he still gets fired. I think that's absolutely possible. I think it's possible.
I think you're putting a lot of faith in the Bears.
Yeah, you acting like this is the Jaguars.
I think
from
you're
couple
putting a lot of faith
ago.
in the Bears. I honestly do.
No, you know what? The one thing,
Because
like
think about
Matt,
it. If it was based on that, they would have seen that when the defense was the entire reason we were winning, and they might have made a change then.
I'm gonna say this: there's nothing to lose. If you ask why they didn't do it Monday,
His job.
hey, listen, you ask why they didn't do it Monday. I can
Yeah.
say this: they were buying the stadium or buying the place for the stadium, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, listen, I need to see if
Hey,
I'm
look.
gonna actually pull this trigger on 200 ends right here. I'm gonna get to you next week. Don't worry about it. You're on
Ooh,
a
we short on time though, but do y'all think that plays anything to it? We're a little short on time. We got about 4 minutes left, but before we get out of here, do y'all think that plays anything to it? New Bears Stadium, we saw a team do that where they stuck with the coach just to get him moved into the new stadium. When they got him moved into the new stadium, I think they let him coach a season there, and then he was fired. In Jeff Fisher, when the Rams moved back to LA, the only reason Jeff was there was just to keep that team cohesive and keep some structure around them until they got moved into their new stadium, because they didn't want to pay a new coach while they were paying for a new stadium. Is that a situation we could see here?
No.
No, I don't think that's the
Matt Nagy's
situation.
bad, but he's not Jeff Fisher bad.
He's not Jeff. Well, no. Jeff Fisher was. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Jeff Fisher.
Like, three things real quick. One, the time frame for the new stadium to be built is too long. We're
About
talking
5
about
years.
We're talking about at
About
least
5
5 seasons, right?
Yeah.
And so, no, I don't see that happening. Two, firing Matt Nagy doesn't actually change anything, because you would just hire someone in the interim who's already been on the staff, and more than likely that's either going to be Sean or it's going to be Bill. And so that change right there doesn't dramatically change anything. They will probably hire Bill or one of them in the interim until the new stadium is built. And guess what? We've actually seen moderate success. So I don't see anything losing there. I don't see that being a losing effort in that regard. Like, again, we talked about this in our last video. You taking away Matt Nagy does not change the overall chemistry or makeup of this team. It actually makes us better.
Hey, I will say real quick too, a name that nobody's thinking of that you guys could go after this season, Mike Tomlin.
I doubt it. He's not leaving. Steelers don't get rid of their head coaches. Steelers have had like what if they had 4 head coaches in their history? If 4 or 5, something like, they're not getting rid of Mike Tomlin. They will weather the storm with Mike Tomlin. We want to let you guys know. First off, appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Showing big love out here. Big love. We want to let you guys know about a couple events that we got going on. First things first, make sure that you enter in and sign up with FanDuel by checking the link in the description below. We got a ton of stuff coming with FanDuel, man. Trying to get as much work as we can. We're trying to get 200 new users signed up with them. So sign up with our link below. Make sure that you put in the description, or the referral name, Pat the Designer, so that they know that you signed up under our code as well. And then, man, we're going to have the link for the Windy City Weekly in the community tab. Make sure that you guys check that out, because, man, I think we're up to about $400 and something given away already just on the Windy City Weekly. So, man, we are giving away cash money, baby. Cash Money Records. We're giving away cash money over on FanDuel, and we appreciate y'all for supporting that as well. Now, we do want to tell y'all about an event happening on November 8th. November 8th. We are going to be live at VIP Bar and Grill calling the Chicago Bears versus a Pittsburgh Steelers game. Make sure to tune in and rock with us on that. Pull up with us, enjoy some drinks with us, get in tune with us, because, man, it's going to be fun, man. I mean, listen, we're going to be out there, me and Kid, getting some giveaways lined up for y'all, man. We got a lot of stuff coming y'all way, and we just want to have a day where we can get out there and kick it with y'all and really enjoy the fans, because y'all are the reason that we do this. Y'all are the reason that we keep coming back, and y'all have shown so much love, man. We want to make sure we show some love back. So pull up on us at VIP Bar and Grill.
Pull up on me.
Pull up on me.
Pull up on me.
Pull up on me. Top of the morning. Man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. As always, man, it's your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again. We got P Kid, Mr. Petty casting over the pettiest man alive. And of course, Ringo J off in the producer booth. We got a producer.
Got a producer.
Voice of God. Y'all hear this voice of God? We gonna keep it buzzing. Hey, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. Keep in tune with all our Bears content. We got a Bears video already out now. Check that out on the channel. Hey, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.